I may be surrounded by famine and desolation. My bank account may be messed up and overdrawn. And they may tell me that I'm not going to be able to make it. And no doors will be open for me. But I'm going to break out of this situation and break through with what God has given to me. Sometimes we have to take it by force and not wait for God to do it for us. Sometimes God says, go ahead, my child. You don't have to stand at the gate and wait. Some of us have missed our twilight. But when twilight comes again and God said, now is the time to break forth and break through. You have to press your way through. Sometimes we have to bum rush the enemy with the praise and worship of God. Sometimes we have to bum rush the enemy and tell him leprosy is no longer a part of my life. My mind is not diseased with defaults. My mind is not messed up with doubt. My mind is no longer messed up with fears. I look at myself and see how I am. I am the child of the King. The writer says in Psalms 8, what is man that you are mindful of him? You made him a little lower than the angels. Therefore, that lets me know that I have power and authority more than the enemy has told to me. So I won't stand outside of the gate. It's time for me to break out so that I can break through. So they broke through where they were because they had spent a long time having nothing. They had spent a long time in loneliness. They had spent a long time in desolation. They had spent a long time without family, without friends, without kinship or relationships. They spent a long time in darkness. They spent a long time not having the things that they needed. Nevertheless, not even the things that they wanted. But sometimes God gives us an opportunity that's presented to us. But because we only see famine, we only see desolation. We only see lack of. So we can't even really see what God is doing. There was no way that those 4 lepers could have seen what was on the other side of the gate unless they broke through. There was no way they can understand and determine what their lives were going to be like. Sometimes we have to take that free fall in faith. We don't know where we're going to land or what God is going to do. But what we're saying is, God, I trust you anyhow. Because I know that you brought me from faith to faith. I know that you bring me from strength to strength. I know that you bring me from glory to glory, and you've not left me this far. You brought me hitherto, God, and when I thought I wasn't going to make it, you somehow pulled me up out of the quicksand. When I thought I couldn't shed another tear, somehow you dried the tears. The psalmist says in 116 of Psalms, he says, you have dried my eyes from tears, you have delivered my soul from death, and you have kept my feet from falling. God, you have been faithful. I've got to break through. So they got on the other side and they found the abundance that they needed. And they decided to go back and let their people know what God had done, because sometimes we don't see the hand of God in the midst of our dire situations. And when we go and we pray and ask God for something, because we don't use our 3D faith, we miss God giving us the answer. Because we don't see it, but the land had already prayed for God to deliver them from the Syrians. Elijah had already prayed for God to lift up the famine in the land. The people had already cried out to the prophet and said, do something, call on the God of Israel to bring us out of this deficit. And Israel had already been told the day before by Elijah that by this time tomorrow, God will present to you the bread that you need, and you will get this for that, and you will buy this for that amount. And the man of God that was standing there was told by the king's aide, said, well, even if God opens up the windows of heaven, that can't happen, because he spoke with doubt. But Elijah said, you won't even get to see it. It takes faith to come from the place of lethargy, spiritual lethargy and leprosy. It takes faith to break out of what you're going through so that you can break through to get what God has for you. But the challenge is will you do it in the twilight? The twilight is that time when you say, God, I can't miss another night of sleep. I can't go through another heartache or disappointment. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of praying. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of complaining about it. God, I need help. And what we don't realize is that God has already sent the help. He's already made the provision. He's already opened the doors and made a way. For those 4 men, those 4 lepers, to be able to come outside of the city and go into the gate, therein was strategy all by itself. Because they said, we can either stand here and die. I can stand here in this place where I've allowed the enemy to ride my back and make me feel less than, and make me feel like I'm just down for the last count. And I can die spiritually. And then I'm going to die naturally. Or I can enter into the gates of praises. And I can give God the glory like I lost my mind. No.